Greetings, everyone. This is Jason Summers. Hey, I'm so sorry I can't be there with you today. I really do miss hanging out with you guys, and I was looking forward to this. But the pecking order of my life says God, family, work, blah, 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 everything else. And unfortunately, today, not unfortunately, I should rephrase this, but unfortunately, I cannot be with you. The fortunate side of it is that I have a opportunity to go watch my daughter dance today. And I know that's not a hard decision whatsoever, other than I'm going to miss being with you guys and getting to hang out with my brothers, brother knights, and to get to meet some of you prospective candidates. And my purpose sending this message out to you is really to kind of tell you my story and why, and maybe why not becoming a knight. And let me tell you that it's something you should really consider. I mean, something you should really think about. It shouldn't be just something you do on a whim. This should be something that you put as much thought in as being a part of as we put thought in making the introduction and invitation to you. Because there's people in this room today that believe in you, or else you wouldn't be here and being invited. And so to me, it was an honor for anyone to suggest or recognize that maybe something inside of me was worthy of this process. Now, let me tell you why I decided to become a knight. First of all, let's start with what I wasn't wanting to do. I wasn't wanting to become a part of another charitable organization. I wasn't wanting to become a part of some other organization that made me swear allegiance to them. I wasn't looking for another fraternity. But when this opportunity and this responsibility, because that's how I see it, is a responsibility, came to me, there was things that these people are doing that have been a part of who I've really wanted to be all my life. And I've seen the manifestation of maybe not a knight in my life, but the behaviors and the attitude of a knight. And so I wasn't looking to join another fraternity or an organization. Like I said, I certainly wasn't going to swear my allegiance to any organization. Now, why I did join. First of all, Don Palace, who is with you today, came to me with his own initiation, and he was going through his own process, and as a friend, and he brought this to me, and for his own good, and we talked about it, and I said, Don, this is you. This is who you are. You know, whether you are given the title of a knight, that's who you are. These are the characteristics that you demonstrated in your life that I think line up with what a knight is. And candidates, you're going to find more about what it means to be a knight. I strongly encourage you to do all the research. Again, this is a very important decision you have to make, because I'm going to tell you that the people behind the scenes and the person who has recommended you as a candidate has put that kind of thought into it. And so there's those characteristics in you that are standing out today to whoever's nominated you. They believe you have those characteristics, but you have the responsibility to make sure that it lines up with who you are and with your values. I am a Christian. Let me tell you that now. But sitting in a church makes me no more a Christian than sitting in my garage makes me a car. So looking for another title, knight, wasn't something I was after. I think titles are the least valuable thing that we have in this world. And when we get to heaven and I lay my crowns at God's feet, those things are going to fall apart anyway. So why becoming a knight? When I was a little boy growing up, I grew up very poor. My mom and dad were divorced when I was about 5 or 6, somewhere in that neighborhood, or they got separated 5 or 6. My dad was an alcoholic, was abusive. Somewhere around 7 or 8, they got divorced. And then life really struck. At 12 years old, my sister was brutally murdered, and man, I'm going to tell you, my life was turned upside down. We were not only dealing with the heartache and the loss of my sister, the divorce, the separation of a family, but man, it was tough. financially to get things through. And I can tell you that there were many times in my life, I can't tell you the exact number of times, but there was many times in my life where we would find ourselves in the greatest desperation, where there wasn't no more money, there was no resources, and God delivered an envelope to our mailbox. So I would go to the mailbox, or my family would go to the mailbox, and in that blank envelope, there would be just the amount of cash that we needed. And I know there was no markings on the envelope. It was cash. And I know that somebody put that money in that envelope. And what they didn't do was as big as what they did do. What they didn't do is take any credit for that gift. And because they didn't take any credit for that gift, there was no indication of who it came from other than inside of the envelope, inside the cash, would be a simple statement, God loves you. So from that point and all those gifts, from that point on, my entire life, all I've had the opportunity to say thank you to is God. God has gotten all the credit for it. Now, as I become a man and an adult and I look back on this, I see where God used somebody else's hands to be his hands. And he did that in a way that they never got any recognition. They were taken out of the picture. And only God was to get the glory. Now, I firmly believe I have two younger brothers, a younger sister, and I firmly believe that that person who put that cash in that envelope had stood back from a distance, never letting anyone know who they were. They stood back from a distance, and I truly believe, and I hope with all my heart, they've looked up on my life and said, yeah, that was worth it. That was worth it. And what I didn't realize at the time is that when that money was put in that envelope with no markings, God getting all the credit, what I realized today that I didn't know then was that there was no shackles attached to it. You see, in my life, I want to be generous. I want to give. And part of it is I want to feel good about giving. We all do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But one of the burdens that comes when we give gifts and we're acknowledged for it, that had the person brought that envelope to me as a kid or to my family as a kid, and they've done it multiple times, and I have no idea if it's one person or multiple people or a group of people who came together. I have no idea. But if they brought that envelope to us or wrote on it their name, not in a bad way, but I certainly would have been or would have felt some obligation in my life to somebody else. And so, what does a knight do? Why did I want to become a knight? Because I believe that's who that was. Whether they took the moniker, whether they took the title of a knight or not, they were a silent knight. And they didn't need the glory. You see, being a Christian for some is a title. But it's not. Being a Christian says, I love God. And because I love him, I'm going to do. I'm going to do. Being a knight isn't about a title. It's about doing and giving God all the credit and all the glory. Now, you don't need the title of a knight, no more than I did, to do God's work and to do it without others knowing. But there is a brotherhood of men who think kind of crazy like I do, like the men that are in the room with you today, that believe that we can do things together with no credit going to any of us and all the glory going to God. And we can do it together using each and every one of our own individualized talents. It's not hard to see that I do not have the skill sets and the good looks of Don Pallis. I don't have the charisma and the knowledge of Rick Tresnick. Well, that's enough comedy. But we each have our own individualized talents and skills. And when we use those and we can operate together, and by the way, whether you accept this responsibility or not, we still find you to be the type of person that would come to the calling and be there with no need for any attention, no need for any credit. To God gives all the glory. Now, I can't tell you how excited I am for you today, because I know you're here today because God planned for you to be here today. And I know you're here today because you really do believe that there's something special in the person that introduced this to you. And that's their responsibility as well. So I encourage you to really dig in, study it, understand what we're talking about. But no, it's not about a title. It's not about a shield. And it certainly isn't about armor. Unless you're talking about the armor of God. And all glory goes to Him. Hey, I can't wait to meet all of you. I can't wait to hang out with my brothers. And go have a great day. Ask lots of crazy questions. And know that we're here to help you make this really important decision. And to that, guys, have fun. That's a noogie for you, Palace. That's a wedgie for you, Tresnik. The rest of you have a great day, and we'll see you soon. God bless. Thank you. Thank you for having the heart of a servant warrior. And whether you grab a hold of the title of knight or not, I know you're special people or you wouldn't have been invited to be here. So go have a great day. We'll see you soon.